example number 2 here, we're calculating perimeter and area still, and again, they are more complex. These are composite shapes. And so let's taking a look here. Actually, I'll zoom out here if you need to pause it. I did just label perimeter and area. In the first one, I labeled that there's one triangle and one rectangle. And then over here for B, there's also one rectangle. And I put one circle. Even though you see two semicircles or two half circles, I'm going to combine them and just say, let's join them together and make one full circle. So if you need to pause and label those, you can. I'll zoom in here now on the letter A, and I've got perimeter. So that's the area all the way around. This here is going to be 17 feet, and here will be 12. So if I'm going to do perimeter, I'm going to have the 16, and then I'll go 12, 17, 17, 12. So 16, 12, 17, 17, 12. So that's my perimeter. I'll just try to remember that here. Perimeter is 16, 12, 17, 17, and 12. And I'm just going to write it vertically here so that I can add it up a little bit easier. 12, 17, 17. Okay, perfect. So 7, 14 plus the 6 is 20, and plus those is 4, 24, carry the 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 74. And I have no idea if this is inches or centimeters. Feet. Okay, so we're going to have 74 feet. So that is our perimeter. Now our area is a little bit more complex. There's a triangle involved there. Now the triangle is going to be base times height, cut in half. So I've got a base here of 16, and then I've got a height of 15. So again, that base is 16 times 15, the height. So let's write that down. Area is base times the height divided by 2. And my base is 16. And the height is 15. And then cut that in half. And I do not know what 16 and 15 is. I am going to do a little bit of a trick though. 16 cut in half, I can do that part first if I want. There's no reason why I have to multiply first and then cut in half. I actually can go 16 divided by 2, so I'm going to make that an 8. So 16 and 2, I'm going to make that an 8. Times that by the 15. And then I can write that vertically. So 15 times the 8, and 8 times 5 is 40, carry the 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 120. So the area here is 120 feet, and it is squared. Now that's not it, but that's the first part. That is my the top of this thing, which I guess kind of looks like a house maybe? Yeah. The rectangle is just base times height, and my rectangle here, I got a base of 16 and a height of 12. So 16 times 12, area equals base times height. So 16 times the 12, which I'm going to have to just write vertically here, because I don't know my 16 times tables. 2 times 6 is 12, carry that. 2 plus the 1 is 3, 0. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. 2, 9, 1. So I got 192 feet squared. Now I have to make some sort of therefore, some sort of concluding statement. Therefore, my area is 120 plus 192, which is going to equal 312, if you add those together, feet squared. So that is my final answer. So I'll just zoom out a little. Well, I was going to try to zoom out, but clearly that's not even an option. You want to make it clear enough to the reader where all of your work is. So I'm going to zoom out here, and hopefully that thing will just disappear. So I've got my work here that shows that my two areas, and then my work that shows that I've added them, and of course the work that shows my perimeter. And it's all very clear. It's written, and I like to do this. You want to write vertically. Start at the top and then head down. So let's take a look at the next one. This looks like maybe kind of like a track field. I do have one full circle. So a circle will have a diameter, and then we'll have a radius. And here the diameter, because there's the other part of the circle, we kind of look something like that, and we've just taken that out and pushed it over to this side. So our diameter here is 30, and our radius would be half of that, which is 15 meters. Okay, so we need to find, for perimeter, we need to find the outside. So I know that this is 50, and this down here would also be 50, so I can label that. That's 50 meters. What I don't know is I'll go like this. That's the perimeter. That's what I need to find. I need to find out what that distance is, otherwise known as the circumference. I can find the circumference of a circle, and then half of it will go here, and the other half will go there. So I need to find the circumference of a circle, and the radius is 15. So the perimeter or circumference is, and you have to memorize this, 2 times pi times the radius. Pi, in this case, we're using 3.14, and the radius was 15. So I've got 2 times 15, that'll be the 30. I'll do the easy part first, and then there's the 3.14. I do not know how to do that, so I'm going to go 3.14. So I do know how, I don't know what it is without actually showing my work here. 0 times all of those are just going to be a bunch of zeros. And the next row starts with a 0. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 plus that 1 is going to be 4. And 3 times 3 is 9. So 9420. And the decimal place has to go 2 in because we are 2 out. So we've moved 2 in on this decimal, so we need to move 2 in on the answer. So 9420. So that's the circumference. Now, I would have to cut that in half. Half of 90 is 45, and half of 4 is 2. So 45 and 2 is 47. So 47, half of 94 is 47, and half of 20 is 10. So 47.10. And the reason I just did that, we don't need to, but we can label, I'll draw it again, I just erased it, but this half would be the 47.10 meters. And then this half over here would be the other 47.10 meters. We don't need to cut that in half, it's just good to maybe know that. We already have the total added up. That's the perimeter of a full circle, which was 9420. So we already have the 9420 meters. And we will also need to, maybe I'll just write this 4710. So divided by 2 is the 4710. So we have the 9420, but then we have the 50 and the 50. So therefore, our perimeter is the 9420, the two 4710s, the two semicircles, plus the 50, plus the other 50. So if I just zoom out a little bit here, I have the two 4710s on the end, plus the 50, plus the 50. So that's where these 50s come in. And the 2 4710s are those. So 50 and 50 is just 100. So 100 plus 94.2 is 194.2 meters. So that is our perimeter. That is quite difficult. Just to spot all of that and kind of understand it, that you're finding the circumference of a circle, and half of it is on the left and the other half is on the right, and then adding that with the 250s. So that is our perimeter, 9420. 194.20. Now the area equals, for a rectangle, it's just base times height, and our base is 50. And how tall is this thing? 30. 50 times 30. So 50 times 30. 5 times 3 is 15. And then I've got 2 zeros. So 2 zeros, meters squared. I think it's in meters. So the rectangle is 1,500 meters squared. And the circle, so the area of a circle, is going to require a little bit more work. It's pi r squared. Pi, we're going to use 3.14. And the radius, what was the radius? 15? Yeah, diameter is 30. The radius is 15 squared. Now I do know what 15 times 15 is. If you don't know, you can do that off to the side, but it's 225. And I'll have to multiply that. Now I don't know what that would be off the top of my head, so I'm going to go 314 times 225. And we'll multiply it. We'll do this vertically. And there's 2 decimal places that moved in for the 3.14, so I'll keep that in mind with my answer. 5 times 4 is 20, carry the 2, 5, 6, 7, and then 5 times 3 is a 15. Start with a 0. 2 times 4 is 8, 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 3 is 6. Start with 2 zeros. 2 times 4 is 8, 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 3 is 6. So I've got all of those. So all these zeros. 7 plus 8 is 15. That's 10, 16, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 7. So this is a lot, but then we have to remember there's 2 decimal places. So we get 706.50. You don't need the 0 though. So 706.5 meters squared. So I've shown so far the reader that I found the area of the rectangle and I found the area of one full circle. Now we could cut that in half, but then we're going to need to add the 2 halves, so there's really no point. Let's find a therefore. So put a little therefore. Your total area is the 1500 plus the 706.5. So we can zoom in here. Now I did have to line them up. There is a decimal place here, so I kind of lined it up with the decimal place that's unseen. There is a decimal place at the very end of every number, and so I made sure that I lined them up vertically, and then I could then add them. So this is just going to be the 5. There's nothing else to add to that. Here's a decimal place. 6 plus 0 is 6. 0 plus 0 is 0. 5 plus 7 is 12. And then that. So you're going to get 2,206.5 meters squared. So I'm just going to zoom out here, and you can take a look at them. We're going to be doing surface area and volume next. And I can tell you right now that these are some of the more complicated ones. These where we're not doing surface area and volume, we're just finding area and volume. These take a lot, perimeter and we're just finding perimeter and area. And there's a lot going on to these. So they do take, I think these take the most time out of everything that we're learning, which is why these videos seem like they're taking forever.